Hello, my fellow small hand band members. Today's video is on the thumb cut. This was a requested video, and so first, full disclaimer, I can't even do thumb cut properly either. So of course, I can only provide tips, and even still, you need big enough hands to do the tips I'm about to show you. So before I give you my actual tips, here are a few things you can do if you think you're still going to struggle with thumb cut after watching this video. First, hope you'll grow. I'm 5'1". I'm also gonna be 19 here soon. I don't think I'm gonna grow much because I have a decent idea of my genetics, and I don't think I was blessed or fortunate in the physical aspect of height. So something tells me I'm not gonna grow much, and considering body proportions, my hands are gonna be small to fit my short body, but I'm pretty sure most of my audience is on the younger side, so hopefully you'll grow. And then for those who are too impatient to wait till they're done growing or are like me and probably won't grow, then just deal with it. And I know that's not the greatest thing to hear, but that's something we'll have to deal with. We can't do anything about it, and that's okay. Don't let your small hands stop you from continuing cardistry. I know there are other cards with small hands, if that gives you inspiration or motivation. And then I'll also give you guys some alternative moves to learn if you can't do thumb cut later in this video. So again, just deal with it, learn another move, or find ways to modify the move that you are struggling with so that you can accommodate your small hands. Again, small hands should not stop you in your cardistry journey. Let's get started with the actual tips for thumb cut. Okay, so as per usual in my small-handed tip videos, I'm going to measure my hand so that for those who have a similar or larger sized hand, hopefully these tips will work for you. So this is just hopefully a good reference point. Index finger to the tip is about 2.5 inches. Middle finger to the tip is about 2.75 inches. Ring finger is about 2.6 inches. Pinky finger is about 1.8 inches. I'd say thumb is around 2 inches. From my wrist to where my middle finger connects is about 3.5 inches. And I'd say both my hands are about the same size, so either one measured should work. Alright, so first I'm going to start off with thumb cut with a full deck. Now I actually don't usually do thumb cut with a full deck because my thumb cut looks like this. So of course you want to hold the deck in straddle grip in your non-dominant hand. Now with your small hands, you probably can't reach over the entire way of the deck with your thumb. So what you need to be able to do though is to be able to reach over the cards like this, which we'll get into here in a second. But if you can't even do this part, then you'll probably not even be able to do any of this. You need to just have small enough hands where you can reach the length of a single card with your thumb. If your thumb can't reach, I'm sorry. Basically, to get to that position though, you want to curl in your middle finger and ring finger underneath the deck. So you just bring those two fingers underneath, and that automatically makes the deck want to go vertically instead of lay flat horizontally. Now, of course, that can cause some cards to fall, so you want to just kind of balance and do it quickly. So as soon as you can get to where your thumb can reach that long edge, you want to grab that long edge with your thumb. And then all those four fingers are just holding on to the bottom of the cards. So you want to try and grab about half the cards, and it's okay if you can only get like a quarter of the deck, but you want to grab just enough for a packet for when you break off. So you want to break off with your thumb by releasing the grip with these four fingers down here and just letting go. And then you have to use gravity to help you, because I doubt your hands are long enough to where your middle finger can reach, if you're watching this video at least. So you'll have to let go with these four fingers and let gravity bring that other half of the packet down. Then you're going to re-grip with these four fingers back into straddle grip, and that's how you get that packet to lay flat. And then you want to still have this with your thumb. Then you push down with your ring finger and pinky finger on the bottom corner of this bottom packet, just like how you would for a scissor cut, which if you need tips with scissor cut, be sure to check the link down below. You're going to push down and make space, and your index finger can kind of help push at the top as well. And then you're going to take your thumb and just push this packet down onto the face of that, but you want the packet to land in your palm, so you again just kind of have to use gravity while maintaining this grip with this packet with these 3 fingers. It's kind of a bit of a balancing game. And then once this packet falls and you're holding onto it with your index finger at the top so it doesn't slide forward, then you can drop this 10 of clubs packet. So maybe you've seen this method of doing thumb cut before, and if you're like me, you don't really like it, so you don't really do it. So there are a few ways to combat this if you still want to do thumb cut with the whole deck. You can try using a bridge size deck because the width of the card is shorter, and therefore you might be able to reach with your thumb, or if you still can't reach, it might still be easier to grab at the top when you do the same method. And if you really want to get crazy, you can get these tiny perler bead cards, or if you've seen one of those like mini decks, then you can finally feel like Oliver Sogard for once and do that same method for thumb cut. But of course that's not a real deck, or it's just not easy to do other cardistry moves, so it's not natural. Of course though, the trade-off, especially with bridge size cards, is that they typically handle like trash. But again, if you really want to do thumb cut that badly, just get a smaller deck. So yeah, I can't do thumb cut with the whole deck, but I can kind of do it with a smaller packet. So I typically can do thumb cut and combo moves such as Hurricane, or just using half the deck is just a lot more comfortable for me. It's the same method. Use these 2 fingers to push the packet up, reach with your thumb. Use your middle finger if you can to break off about half the packet, but if you can't reach with your middle finger or your ring finger, then just again use gravity to break off like so. Now, still doing that lay down part is not the most comfortable for me, but I also just don't practice this in my dominant hand. So basically, if you can't do it with a full deck, take away some cards, try it with maybe 3/4 of the deck, maybe take away more cards, try it with half the deck. Although I guess I can't really reach it in my non-dominant hand, which is interesting. I think part of why it's easier to do with a small packet for combos is because I can bend the cards when I push with my thumb, and that helps shorten the distance of the cards just a little bit from my middle finger to reach, and it also just helps with breaking off cards. But when you have a full deck, you can't bend them as easily. And for more general uses of thumb cut and combos that aren't a specific move like Hurricane, you can use thumb cut in something like this, where you have the packet face up, you do a thumb cut, you use your thumb to grab this bottom packet from the bottom and pull it underneath the deck, and then do whatever you want with this packet. Or another thing is you break off for thumb cut, and then you slide this edge of the packet to your thumb by using your index finger, or just using these 2 fingers to push the packet up, just to slide it to your thumb. You can put your index finger on the back to flip it like you would for a normal packet flip. The only difference is, of course, that you have that other packet there. Or you can do this single card pull off in thumb cut position, though it might be a little harder, like I didn't even let go of the packet there. That wasn't very good, but hopefully you get the idea. You can try it with trainers. Here are some wood ones that I have, and at least here it looks a little cleaner in general, in my opinion, when I try to do it with the full deck. Same thing with these jelly trainers. It's still a bit messy, but I think it's easier to do and just looks a little bit better than trying it with a full deck of 52 cards. So if you have trainers, maybe try those. And then same thing for doing it in your dominant hand. Now with trainers, especially like these wood ones and the jelly ones, you can't really bend, so it might be a little harder, but because you have separate packets, it might be easier to break off. So that's really all the actual tips I have on thumb cut. Sorry that was a little bit short, but again, I can't really do it. But I do have a list of alternative moves you can do instead of thumb cut. So first would be L cuts. I do have a tutorial on these. Of course, you'll still need to be able to reach the long edge with your thumb to do these, and you'll need to be able to reach with your ring finger to break off packets, but that's a good move to learn. And again, hurricane, which you still need to know thumb cut for, but because it requires a smaller packet, it might be easier. It's a really addicting move. Another move is the Ernest go round, which I do have tips for as well. There's flip flop by Nate Lex with the tutorial on X decks. Now I can't do that very well with a full deck either, but if you take away some cards or even do it in a combo, you can do this utility kind of move from Mosh Pit Meditation, which I'll also leave a link for. It's pretty similar in terms of mechanics to Ernest go around and flip flop. But yeah, flip flop can be a good one-handed cut alternative. There is this cut. I'm not sure what it is. I saw it done by Weston Hamilton, and if you're experienced cardist, you can probably just learn the mechanics just by watching him or me do it. I mean, I just learned it by watching him do it. At first, I thought my hands were too small for it. It was very much just a practice this move a lot thing to get comfortable with it, because there are some parts that are very nerve-wracking to do at first. But of course, once you practice it a lot, it becomes a lot easier. So if I can do it, hopefully you can do it. That's the philosophy I'm going by for this. And if you can't do any of those alternative moves, again, don't feel bad. There are still other moves that I probably have no idea even exist. And of course, you can create your own moves or try and modify these moves to where it can accommodate your small hands. So again, don't lose hope. Just keep trying. But hopefully some of these tips were at least helpful, or that you like some of these alternative moves. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. Alright guys, so those were my tips. And again, if you are still struggling, hope you'll grow or just deal with it. And if you know another move that you are struggling with because of your small hands, feel free to comment it down below and I can take a look at it. But again, if I can't do it either, or if I can't find a way to modify it to where it accommodates my small hands, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. But anyway, also be sure to check out my previous small hand videos. I know they're old and I sound like a terribly high-pitched balloon boy, and I'm even more awkward in those videos than I am now, but I still give good tips on those cuts, so hopefully they'll help you. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, because I've got more videos coming. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.